Hey yo, what is up? Christmas loot box tanks are out, and I'm going to show you all the tanks that are available for loot box purchases. But we'll start with this one, the Tiger Mouse. This is supposed to be the star of the show. Everybody is looking forward to this tank, but unfortunately this thing is just a huge piñata. It's got absolutely no armor. But the highlight of this tank is the gun. It's got 530 alpha, which is pretty interesting, but it's huge, and it's you know, if you shoot it from a distance, you've got half the tank to shoot at, and you're going to probably pen very easily. The lower plate is Swiss cheese. The turret just needs some heat shells or APCR, and you probably pen it. And if it's too tall for you, you can just shoot the this vents here in the front, and you will pen the upper deck very easy to pen. But yeah, this is the first tank, the Tiger Mouse. Now the second tank is more interesting in my opinion, but I haven't played it yet. This one is the Object 752. I really like the look of this tank. If I am being honest, I was looking forward to this tank like 3 years ago, because this tank has been in the files for a really long time, and this has an oscillating turret like the Yo tank, or like those French light tanks, where the gun will go up and down, and it looks like the entire cupola goes up and down as well. So a little bit weird mechanic, but also nothing we've not seen before, you know what I'm saying? But very sexy looking tank. I am looking forward to playing this tank. This has an auto loader or an auto reloader mechanic, so it's pretty interesting as well from that aspect. I can't tell you much about how it performs, other than I think it's gonna be fun. But yeah, let's go to the next tank, which is the where is it? Type 63. I've already played this tank, and this tank is actually fun. It is fun because it has this cooling down gun mechanic, although I don't know how it works. It's supposed to be more accurate after you cool down, so I think this gun reloads in something like 8 seconds or 9 seconds if you got rammers and shit like that. But after you fired it, it needs time to cool down in order for the dispersion to become accurate again, and the cooldown period is something like 13 seconds or something like that. So effectively your reload time is actually like 13 seconds, because you need it to cool down before you can accurately hit your shot, unless of course you are face hugging or you're very close, then you won't need that accuracy very much. Again, this is another oscillating turret kind of tank. The T-bar here, if you take a look at it, it's like a T shape connected to the gun. That whole thing oscillates up and down together with the gun, so kind of weird looking. Also, this thing has the siege mechanic, which is automated, so it's a little bit annoying, like the new German tank that has the siege mode as well. As soon as you slow down, then you have an extra X amount of degrees. But it was definitely more annoying on the German tank, because that was kind of like a high mobility, well, not a high mobility, but more mobile tank, so you get to places faster, and that siege mode kicks in at the wrong time when you're, you know, trying to get the first shot in. This tank, however, is a slower heavy tank, so that that siege mechanic isn't going to affect it so much, because you're not getting into positions at a high rate of speed. You get what I mean? Anyway, that's what I trying to get across to you guys. The next tank is also pretty interesting. It's from the American Tech Tree. If I can find it, it is called the XFM. Where is it? I can't find it. There it is. This is the one I did play it. This is called the XM66 Foxtrot. This tank has a limited turret traverse. I can't remember how many degrees, but you look left and look right, maybe 45 degrees or something like that before you need to move your hull in order to move your gun more left. But it's not something we're not used to. It's not something we've never seen before. I think one of those reward tanks are also like this, so we've seen this, we've played this. There are a couple of tanks that work this way, so we're kind of used to it. But this tank has a bit of armor. When I played it, maybe I was top tier and I was bullying lower tiers, but in my opinion, this tank is more fun than the Tiger Mounts. I had more fun in this tank. That's what I'm trying to say, because it has a little bit of armor. But obviously the downside is the limiting turret traverse. But other than that, this thing hits quite hard. It has 400 alpha, so pretty interesting for a tier 8 tank destroyer. The next tank I want to talk about is the, where is it? It's also an American tank, but I'm quite sad about this tank because this tank is the Cheffy. I thought this Cheffy was going to be the you know, the what reward, the long service reward. I thought this was going to be the log-in reward tank, the free tank you get every year for being a loyal player of World of Tanks, but unfortunately it is not. This is the Cheffy, much like the Cheffy Tech Tree, but slower, and that's a little bit unfortunate. I think it's got a better gun, but it's not going to make much of a difference because this is a light tank that has a speed ability or agility like a medium tank. It's not really fun to play. I mean, it's okay, but it's not super fun to play. However, the next tank is fun to play, and it is the ARMT. This tank is actually fun to play because it's an auto loader in tier 5. It's kind of big, it's kind of boxy, you can't really hide anywhere. You're an easy target if you get spotted. So that's, you know, that's one of the downsides of this tank. You can't have everything. You have a killer auto loader gun that, you know, pretty interesting, fun to play, but you can die easily because this tank is just so tall and so square everywhere. So that's the ARMT. The next tank is the IT3 Soviet tier 4 whatever tank this is. I don't think anybody really cares about tanks like this. This is just filler tanks that nobody plays, and it's not that nobody wants to play it. I think a lot of people want to play it. I want to play tier 4s, tier 3s, tier 2s, tier 5s. I do want to play it, but it's just dead, right? That tier of tanks gameplay is just dead. The next one is A7E3. This is a British tank, a light tank. Again, this is a lower tier, again tier 3, nobody plays, just filler, just a garage slot. Again, nobody plays tier 3s, and the reason why nobody plays tier 3s is not the player's fault, it is Wargaming's own fault. They push you through the tiers by giving you boosters. Hey, here, have a booster. Here, take some ×5 XP. And you breeze through the tiers, the low tiers in one day, and on your first day you're already in a tier 6 tank, and that is why nobody plays lower tiers. It's because everybody is moving past so quickly. There's no one left. This is the other one, this is the tier tank. This is the boxed tank number 9 from the loot boxes. This is a Chinese tier 2 Vickers that nobody is gonna play. Nice camo though, nice camo that comes with the tank. It's free camo, but who cares? Nobody's gonna play it because there's just no one there. In Asia, it's full of bots. In Europe or NA, I don't know, I can't imagine anyone playing there. Anyone that's playing is just passing through, so you don't get any kind of players that have any kind of tank experience in lower tiers. In fact, people get pushed so quickly to tier 10, tier 8, tier 10 tanks that there aren't a lot of experienced players in those tiers either, and that is why the game is suffering, in my opinion anyway. There are a lot of new players that are in higher tiers without any experience playing this game. The last tank is the 10 GSOR 1010 FB. This was last year's tank. Of course, this tank is actually pretty fun tank to play. I think I only played a handful of games in this tank. I think 3 or 5 games, and every game has been a banger. But unfortunately, there are so many tanks in this game that there is actually no time for me to play any one tank more than 5 times at this point. It's just ridiculous that there's so many tanks, and it's also ridiculous that we keep getting new content bracket, new tanks all the time, but the player base is not increasing. There are not a lot of players joining the game. More players are leaving the game. It's so, in my opinion, I don't think it's the tanks that are going to bring them back. It's got to be something else. But next up, what I want to show you are the skins. These are the 3D skins in the loot boxes, starting with the GWE 100 artillery. Finally getting this GWE, finally getting some cool 3D skin. The next skin is from the EBR 105, and this is called the Hot Rod. I don't agree. It's cool skin, it looks cool, nice idea and all that shit, but this is not a tank. This is kind of cartoony, and we're going off the rails here a little bit. I will definitely have this skin turned off. The next one is the Cobra. Again, another skin that looks cool, but in another world, in another planet, in another game, in another game mode. But hey, maybe it's the Zoomers that like these. I don't know. I'm in the boomer category, so you know, this is not really kind of appealing to me. The next one is the AE Phase 1 3D. This is the tier 9, of course. It looks really different with this skin. It's in line with the Dune theme. The gun actually looks like the S-Conk skin, the one with the weird armor. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good, but it just doesn't look like it belongs in a World War II Cold War / game. And the last one is the E75. This one looks more like World War II. It looks kind of battle hardened. It even maybe looks a little bit like Myrni inspired, but who's to say? Anyway, those are your 10 tanks and your 5 loot box skins. There is one more tank coming out later tonight, and keep your eye out for that, and it will be revealed later. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.